Folks, our favorite swig sippers are back. That is right. The scandalous world of Mormon mom talk is back, and they are bigger than ever. The second season of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is now airing on Hulu. I got to watch the first 3 episodes, and I got to tell you guys, it blew me away. I loved the first season, but it was incredible. It made me laugh, but even more, it gripped me in ways that I wasn't expecting. You really root for all of these women. I mean, most of the women. And also, I think this show has so much weight to it due to the backdrop being in Utah and the Mormon religion, and can these women help modernize the church in a way? So today we are so lucky to have with us newcomer Miranda Hope. All right, say hi, Miranda.
Hello, thank you for having me.
We have Jen Affleck, we have Macy Neely, and we have Michaela Matthews. Thank you guys so much for being here. What is your nerve level right now, knowing that the whole world will see the second season, I guess today when this comes out?
Actually, 0.
You have no nerves at all?
Really? No.
Well, for me, I don't feel like I am either.
I feel nothing.
Yeah.
We're numb.
We're not getting. We're so busy. We don't
I'm like, I'm nervous.
I'm the only one that's nervous for you guys?
I'm the only one who's
I mean, you're the only one here who's seen any episodes, so maybe we should be nervous if you're nervous for us.
No, everybody here came off beautifully. And I will say in the first 3 episodes, you guys are so highlighted. Jen and Michaela, really, so highlighted in these first 3 episodes that I was just I can't wait to see where the rest of this season goes for you guys. But going into this second season from the first, did you have any sort of, I loved what they did on the first season with me here, but I don't think they shared enough of this part of my story here?
I think we all had that. I'm like actually all of me. Season 1.
I mean, what did you want to see more of after season 1 with your story?
Any of it. I feel like I filmed a lot of it. Like, of course, I was filming all my chronic illness stuff, the therapy I was going to, and I think they did put a little bit of that into season 2 as a flashback, from what I'm hearing.
No, there's a lot.
I'm nervous.
There's a big chunk of it in one of the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, see, that's what makes me nervous. But I think none of that was in season 1, which was really hard because I'm like, that was kind of my motivation going into filming, was like, okay, there's someone out there that's going to resonate and like take something away from this. And then after like watching season 1, I was like, oh, I feel like I just did all that work for nothing, which I know it wasn't for nothing. But I mean, obviously there was days that I was like, I do not want to go film today, most days. So. Well,
rest assured, your story is already painted really, I think it is such an inspiration already, seeing what I've seen. Now, Miranda, you are new to this, even though you are not new to the overall lore of Mom Talk.
Or drama.
Yeah, well, you weren't in the first season, and you decided to come in on the second season. What was behind your decision to finally agree to do this?
Yeah, I've, obviously had these conversations with the girls as well, but I think that had I done season 1, my divorce would have been on the season, and although it would have been very entertaining, I'm sure, for viewers, I think that it would have been really difficult. I also think that Taylor and I weren't at a great point, and that's also something that hasn't been a secret, and I didn't know if I wanted to put myself in that position. And I knew that with my relationship dynamic, before even getting divorced, it just wasn't going to be a fit. And then on top of the Taylor thing, it didn't feel right. And then once I was no longer in a relationship and I was a single mom and really just facing a lot of things that I hadn't faced before, throwing in facing the swinging drama and my past there was kind of like something I just felt like I needed to finally face head on in order to fully move past that part of my life and to grow and evolve more. And so a little bit of everything, but I'm happy I made the decision.
Well, and for the audience that has not watched season 1 or is aware of the Mom Talk, I guess the scandal that blew it all up is that Taylor Frankie Paul, she was involved in what we call this soft swinging scandal, and you were involved in that as well. And so you come into this, and there's already this real big tension, but your ex-husband Chase, who we get to see at the Halloween party, which he has an iconic line of, "Don't make fun of my podcasts," and I will use that now.
He said that?
Yeah, he says, "Don't make fun of." I didn't even know he had a podcast.
And we'll do it. Yeah,
well,
exactly.
Yeah, a lot of people don't.
I think
exactly our point.
We made fun of it.
But it is interesting because the rest of you ladies were not primarily involved in that soft swinging scandal at all.
No.
And so we have somebody that was, so I think that's such an interesting aspect of this story. And to watch you and Taylor, it seems like a little bit of a freeze at first, and then she starts warming up, or you guys both start warming up together.
Yes.
But I think a lot of you ladies were very suspicious of her coming back. And,
Sure.
it's like on The Bachelor, are you here for the right reasons? What was your trepidation? Because you keep asking, like, am I allowed to be back in Mom Talk?
Yeah. I think it's kind of complicated. I think, too, for us, like, we were there for, like, the pilot filming in 2022. Like, I don't want to say, like, we
And
didn't
when
build
the
this,
swinging
right? But
stuff-
we were part of, like, the whole creation of doing this show and putting effort in for the last 2 years. And I feel like we got shit on a ton, to be honest, when the trailer came out. And then once the show was a success, everyone's like, oh, we love you. I'm like, but you wouldn't have loved it if it wasn't successful. So I think we looked at Miranda that way, being like, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't successful. And so I think it was kind of frustrating for us in the beginning because we're like, we did all this work, everyone was shitting on us, and now you want to come in that's successful? So I think it was hard for us in that aspect.
And we felt
in the
like
beginning.
defensive of Taylor.
Taylor,
Because during
yeah,
that
the
time,
whole
we had
situation.
grown close to Taylor for like the 2 years after the swinging scandal because like you guys they stopped talking. I mean, we've had this conversation a lot, but they stopped talking. And then, of course, the added layer of Miranda's ex-husband was really hard to get behind.
That's true. That is a big part of
Which
it.
she was also understanding of. And so there was a lot of like different aspects and elements to it. But I feel like we worked a lot on like our relationship, and Miranda has put work in outside of filming too, which says a lot because there's some people in the group that don't do that.
Wait, who in the group doesn't do that? Let's say
Whitney.
I was like, who do you think she's going to say?
Whitney. I was shocked Whitney came back this season.
I think anyone
were?
who leaves.
Well, just because she was in such that villain position, and she's
Gotta get a redemption arc.
Well,
I'd come back if I was promised a redemption too.
Yeah.
so we're still kind of off kilter with Whitney.
There's so many ins and outs at this point. Obviously, like we're filming right now, so there's a lot that we can't really touch on. But it's been, we'll say, like overall, it has not been linear. Like I think anyone's relationship with Whitney, it's been there's a lot of ups and downs for sure.
Who is currently in Mom Talk?
Good question.
Yeah,
Like,
actually, I think it's kind of blurry right now.
Is there an
for us.
application process?
It is blurry.
We might have to start doing that.
we
at
can
this
say
point.
those here, but like
us,
we're in Mom
us
Talk.
for sure.
So
Still
me
trying to figure
included,
out the
I'm in Mom
guidelines.
Talk as well. So
Yes, you're the newest member. Congratulations.
this is really going to juice your numbers.
we're gonna
This
get
is
you a
gonna be
blue
great.
coat after the show.
Yeah.
Okay, Jen. So I loved you in the first season, but these first 3 episodes, it highlights you, and I am so. I mean, I am strongly rooting for you because you seem like you are at this kind of juxtaposition in your life of all of this craziness. You're pregnant again. We obviously had the Zach relationship that was in, a little bit of trouble, and we see that these first 3 episodes. How are you?
I'm doing way better now. During filming, I was definitely not okay. And I think you probably see that. Yeah. I was hurting really bad. And I think, it was hard jumping into season 2 right after season 1 came out because we were in the midst of everything. And so what you see was actually what was happening within like a relationship and just everything I was going through during that time. And then, of course, finding out I was pregnant. Like
that was such an intense scene, and I know you guys haven't seen it, but we see you with the pregnancy test and you guys finding out, and it was one of those moments where, I mean, this is what I love about really good reality television, and unfortunately, you have to live through this, but we get to watch it, and it is so gripping because it is so real. But where are you and Zach now? Are you in a better place?
Oh, absolutely. Like night and day difference. Like, I'm truly grateful for everything that we went through because I think we were really put in a situation to really either rely on each other or honestly, that the situation that we were in, it could have driven us apart and we could have ended up getting a divorce, or it could have made us closer, and it made us closer in the end. So
I mean, we really see like he postpones his med school, right, in Arizona, comes back. Your trepidation is about, he's like, I'd love to live in this place. He kind of invites himself in, and then we see him trying to make amends slowly, but there is so much, you have the Ben Affleck stuff being touched on, which is pretty, I mean, it's kind of funny, but I'm sure
it's hilarious at this point.
Well, you truly were told by his family at some point, right?
Yes.
And
I think there are a lot of things where during the show I wasn't fully honest with him. That was one of the things that I was never dishonest about. That was truly what was relate to me.
Yeah.
And I still haven't had a conversation with his family about it. Like, we're still trying to get to the bottom of it.
You still have not talked to his family directly about...
No, not about it.
This is a scene for season 3.
No,
please.
absolutely. I want to personally, I mean, I know some of the other girls have hired on a genealogist, and not sure there's
I need Ben Affleck to be on season 3
No,
and him
I
come
need
to the family.
Ben Affleck. Come on.
Honestly, I'm up for that.
Yes. Okay, so where are we? You and Zach, you are good right now. You are working towards good. Where are you, ladies, with your relationships right now? Because you are both pregnant as well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Which, by the way, you're the only one. You had an announcement today?
Oh gosh. Yeah, actually.
Are you?
Thank you for all being here. No, absolutely not. Haven't helped me.
Where are you in your relationships right now?
Yeah, mine's been with like all the therapy things. Season 2, obviously, we're still filming, and I feel like it's been more in my relationship now. Like all the things that I talked about in season 2 with like the sexual abuse, obviously that trickles into your marriage later in life. And so I feel like we're in a place just working through that right now and navigating that.
Which, by the way, thank you for being so open about that. I mean, it really is one of the most powerful episodes of these first 3 of you being so open and kind of coming to grips and also realizing, I mean, and also then dealing with the skin and all of this and trying to find ways to heal yourself from not just, you know, the trauma, but it's like coming out onto your body, and it is such a powerful episode.
Thank you. Yeah.
I know. I'm so sorry. Like I was like, oh, how do we talk about this? But it's like good to talk about it. You know?
I know it is. I know it's going to be hard to watch back because again, the first time I filmed it, but then like hearing in press, they're like, oh well, there's this scene of you talking to your sisters and doing this. I was like, oh. But obviously, I'm like, I filmed it and I wanted to do it and get my story out there. But yeah, it's still going to be hard to watch back. Obviously, like my health is doing a lot better this season too, which I think is a huge plus, and I do contribute a lot of that to going to therapy and working through like all my inner child, all my trauma, all of that has really reflected on the surface as well. So yeah, as far as healing goes.
You're glowing.
Yeah. I mean, truly, compared to me, yes, everybody is glowing. What about you, Macy? Where are you at?
I mean, I have zero complaints. I don't think he has any, or at least I hope not.
Wait for season 3.
We're like, watch out, Jacob.
Yeah, like he has to deal with me pregnant, and that's probably a task as well, because I'm a little bit spicier for sure and less patient, but overall things are really good.
I think I said
you guys
this.
fight about business.
Yeah, that's the only thing that we do like have struggles with, because working with your spouse isn't always easy.
Yeah. I mean, you had a great line saying, like, listen, I do one brand deal, I make more than my husband does in a year.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
We can all say, period.
But isn't that wild? Like, you could have never predicted this 6 years ago, that this is where you would be at all.
Yeah.
No.
So it makes it tricky sometimes having to...
Yeah, to massage the male ego.
Honestly, I love that Jacob does that, but I get it.
It's like he doesn't have an ego at all. If anything, he's like, hey, like, you should do this. Let me help you do this. And I'm like, get out of here. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
He really
I need more work.
Do better, though.
So he's actually, it's the opposite for him. It's like he wants me to be so successful, so he's willing to help in any area or avenue. And I have a hard time just...
He wants to monetize everything that he can.
Makes you like, I hate that.
And I'm like so grateful. But then when he calls or texts me, I'm like...
It's overwhelming too, yeah.
I'm like, go away.
Yes.
I think you have a line, Macy, in one of the first episodes where you're like, hey, if you talk smack about mom talk, you know, I'm going to come for you. It was a very... But it also made me kind of like, you said this earlier, is that after that first season, or even... I guess in the fallout of the soft swinging scandal that you weren't necessarily involved in, you've had to defend yourself a lot, or all of you have had to defend
all of us
mom
have,
talk.
For sure, yeah.
What does that do to you? Is there like a residual anger that you carry with you?
No, I think it's more if there's toxic men saying it, then I get a little spicy about defending mom talk and my friends. Like, I'm definitely a girl's girl, and anyone who's going to talk shit on my friends, then they're going to have a problem with me, mainly when it's men.
Yeah.
I have a sore spot with toxic men, and I will admit that.
But folks, I will have you know I am literally wearing a Quince blazer right now. That is right. I am wearing a Quince navy blazer, and I'm going to be wearing this for the remainder of the summer. That is how much I love my blazer and I love Quince. They always have these kind of go-to things that you will consistently wear, and they're high quality, so they last a very long time. Quince has all things that you actually want to wear. Like they have organic silk polos, European linen beach shorts, and comfortable pants that work for everything from backyard hangs to nice dinners. I hope I get invited to backyard hangs this summer. Now, the best part, everything with Quince is priced 50 to 80% less than what you would find at similar brands. How do they do this? They do this by working directly with top artisans, cutting out the middleman. Quince gives you luxury pieces without the crazy markups. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. They truly do it all. So elevate your closet with Quince. Go to quince.com/sobad for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/sobad to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/sobad. By the way, I feel like everybody should have a sore spot with toxic. That's a good thing to have.
I agree. I think everyone does,
I guess
for
I'm just
sure.
most passionate about it, apparently.
But I also think everyone has a sore spot, like we were saying when Miranda came in the group. It's just like with everyone, especially because we put so much work into like Mom Talk and the friendships outside of like the business of Mom Talk. We put a lot of work into like our individual friendships.
Yeah.
And so we're protective over that too.
Yeah,
I
for
think.
sure. Because it's not just a business for us.
Yeah.
Like, it's also a friendship.
But is it weird, and I know you're just experiencing this now, but everybody wants a piece of you now. It's like even different than TikTok. Now it goes to television, and like a whole new audience finds you guys.
Yeah.
How do you deal with like people, is it hard not to let the kind of star, like, oh, you're seeing stars in your eyes? Like, how do you remain grounded during this time?
I feel like we live in Utah, so I feel like it's just a different vibe. Like, I feel like if we lived here, it might be a little different, but I feel like we're not super involved in, like, I don't want to say the Hollywood scene, but I feel like it's a different vibe in Utah. It's slower. It's, like, more relaxed. And so, like, yeah, like, we still have people coming up to us, but it doesn't... I don't know.
I feel like
for me,
usually
it just feels like normal life. We just have more
For me,
people
it's
coming
old
up.
friends, though. It's like people.
Yeah, I will say
from,
that.
Like, I don't think it's like people on the outside that I like don't know that are trying to take advantage.
Yeah, no.
I notice it more with like old friends from high school.
Oh,
Yeah, who are like, hey,
Yeah.
and you're like, wait,
Like,
I haven't
suddenly
heard
you're
from
not
you.
judging me anymore.
They're like, I'm
Crazy.
starting this business.
Yeah.
Remember, I was the one that gave you the Mom Talk idea?
Yeah.
For me,
Like, I
Layla,
introduced
I
you to
think
this
it's like
person.
dating.
Oh, yeah, dating.
I think now
Dating would be
dating
hard.
would be
Is
hard.
that would be
Which, like, I have yet to really do. I feel like just, and I have no interest really in dating
You're like,
right now.
thank God.
Yeah,
That's
truly.
what I was going to ask. Are we going to see you dating on this show?
Ooh, that would be fun.
Maybe at some point. Like, I haven't been. I mean, I was in a relationship after my divorce for a while that I'm no longer in. So right now I'm just kind of prioritizing, myself and my kids. But I think at some point, I'm sure, and, people see that with Layla a little bit, and I'm sure they'll continue to see that.
I mean, Layla, we saw her make out with somebody on Vanderpump Villa.
Yes.
Last time when I talked
honestly,
to her,
period. Good for her.
I talked to her last year. Somebody from like Dancing with the Stars or The Bachelor was sliding into her DMs. Like everybody,
yeah.
but
Bachelor,
she,
I remember
and
that.
then didn't she go on a date with your ex Chase?
Oh, more than one day.
More than that.
There was more happening than that.
Yeah.
This was like how
This
small
was
is
before-
Utah,
this was-
where
oh, it's
this
so
Chase
small.
guy is?
It's so small.
It is small. It's a bubble.
Small
There's
world.
a reason why swinging has become a thing.
Right?
Yeah.
Wait. Has that really been? You guys have kind of introduced that to Utah culture? Is
No,
soft
it's
swinging?
been around.
No.
But I think
It
once
was very
Taylor
much a
came
thing
out,
before
it
us.
was. Well, I think
Yeah.
Taylor even said, like, you guys would be shocked how big the swinging
Oh, it's
culture is in
huge.
Utah.
Well, I didn't realize.
That we
I
don't
didn't even know
about.
all the ins and outs. Like, our swinging wasn't even like real swinging.
No, and I want to point that you even
was
say
soft
you
swinging.
said at the height it was playing spin the bottle, kissing other people, and it wasn't full sexual intercourse.
No, no, thank goodness. But yeah, I think when you hear swinging, right, that's what you think.
Mm-hmm.
So then when I found out all the other things about swingers, like there's swinger apps and stuff, I'm like, wow, I was
didn't
I was
know
a bad
that.
swinger. Yeah, I'm like, I didn't even know all this.
Yeah.
We've got a whole new
apps.
episode on season 3 is introducing you guys to the apps.
Right?
I didn't
know.
even
I'm
know
like,
there were swingers apps.
There's
I know.
also certain places that are notorious for swingers, which is
Certain
like
gyms.
Draper,
That's right,
Treehouse
gyms.
Gym.
I've heard
yeah.
Lifetime.
Wait,
is kind of a
in
swinger.
Utah,
Yeah.
your areas, that's where the
There's
swingers
certain
go.
areas that are known to have swingers.
more predominantly
yeah.
swinger based.
What is going on in Utah? I watch Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. It's the same vibe where I'm like, how
'cause you
small?
get married
is
when
this
you're-
They get married too young and then they're bored and then they
your
start
prefrontal
swinging.
cortex isn't developed. That's what's going
Well,
on.
do you mind speaking about the Mormon religion? Is that because everybody here is presently still with the church, correct?
No.
No.
Me and
No.
Who is
Miranda.
not with the church?
Me and Miranda.
You are still or not?
Yeah, still not. A part
I mean,
of
our
the church.
records are still.
Yeah,
but
my record's in, but I mean, I left
they're
the
not
church like 10
active,
years
is
ago.
We're not active.
But you and
Yeah.
you both are
I'm like, what's
still with the church, correct? You know, when I moved to Arizona, I met my first Mormon and like Mormon family, and I just remember like no caffeine. We stockpile food.
They were strict ones.
I mean, very loving. You know, no caffeine. Very
Yeah.
strict on like no R-rated movies. In the current Mormon church, which you guys point out, is that we're trying to bring the church into like a modern era in a
Yeah.
sense. What are the current rules in the Mormon faith
Well,
as a
there
young
is
person?
They're not like rules, they're more of guidelines, and I will say it's different where you grow up. Like growing up in California, I watched radar movies. My parents swore. I wore
things on
bikinis.
Sunday.
I did things on Sundays. Like,
And caffeine also, it was like no
caffeine was not a
coffee specifically.
thing. Like my family drank soda every day. So like for me, like it was honestly a pretty fairly normal childhood. Like I didn't have any like weird like rules. It was just like the main things for my family was just like no sex before marriage kind of thing, and like don't drink, smoke kind of thing. Like that, it was kind of like a traditional Christian family, to be honest. And all my friends were mostly like Christian, Catholic, Jewish. Like I didn't really have a ton of Mormon friends, to be honest. And so I think like as far as the guidelines in the church, it's like it's still the same as it always ever has been, but it's never been like you can't watch a radar movie. It's like there's certain guidelines in place, like word of wisdom, which is like don't drink alcohol. Like they don't want you drinking coffee, tea, which like most of us do because I just don't understand that one.
Yeah.
But like no smoking and stuff like that. But it's not like if you smoke you can't be Mormon. But they're guidelines to keep you like worthy. If
But
that
I
makes
will
sense.
And you
Yeah,
can't
they
have
are-
a temple recommend though. If
That's
you
what I
don't
mean, like
abide by
worthy.
those guidelines.
Yes,
Like
exactly.
worthy for
And
the
a temple recommended so you can get married in the temple. Is that what that
Or
means?
like go in the
Or
temple.
go
in the temple.
Go in the temple.
Go in the temple, and there's more than just marriage that happens in the temple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well.
Were you and Chase married in the temple?
We were.
I didn't know.
So how I mean you no longer, but that because it seals you, right? Or that's the
Yeah.
theory is that it seals you in
for
the
time and all eternity. It's like to
Yes.
be with your spouse in this life and the next.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
your family. Like we're big on family. Like that's like the center of the church is like Jesus and family. And so I feel like for us, it's like getting married in the temple is a big deal because we believe you get sealed as a family for time and all eternity. So when you have kids, they're going to be with you like your whole afterlife is kind of how we think of it, basically.
Can we seal Mom Talk as a family? Can that be?
I don't know if
it's
we'd
like
want
its
that.
own kind of-
I don't know if we want that.
I think there's too
Hey, here
I'm
comes
already
Whitney,
sealed to my
yeah.
ex-husband still. I don't know that I need to be
Yeah.
sealed to everyone
There's
else.
too many people coming and going in Mom Talk. I don't think they would abide by that.
Yeah.
Right?
By the ceiling.
Like that's the real deal. I don't know.
What was the craziest thing that you had heard or rumor you heard about yourself, Jen, after the first season?
The craziest rumor.
That was completely not true.
I'm trying to think. There's a lot of rumors. There's a lot
Like that
of.
she's related to Ben Affleck.
I mean, that's a big one. Yeah.
Yes, that is definitely a big one. I'm trying to think. Can you guys think of anything? Rumors that you
Can't think
heard?
of anything from
I just
you.
saw like weird ones on TikTok. Like mine was like Macy said no to season 2 because she got offered less money than
those
Taylor.
AI ones.
Yeah, those
wait,
weird
Oh,
AI
those
that,
are weird.
They're
Yeah.
like
But
the
And
AI
people were
ones that's
talking
like,
about it and thinking it was true, and I was like, no, that's not
Yes.
true. We all get paid the same.
Oh,
that
that
was
like
like
you were
Whitney's
getting
getting
divorced
sued
was
for
a
using his
huge one.
That was definitely
Yes,
a
I heard
everyone
that
thought you
one.
guys were-
thing. Me getting divorced, Zach being kicked out of med school because of
This
with
And
the show.
gambling
That
and- yeah.
that was not true at all. I mean, there's been so many. I mean, I can't keep up, to be honest. There's a new rumor every single day.
Well, yeah, anybody can say anything, and then
Yeah.
it just spreads, and people
Exactly.
want to. I mean,
Yeah.
So also in the first couple of episodes, is that a lot of people, there seemed to be not full support for Jen, I noticed. And I didn't know if you could explain necessarily why. It was like, was it just because of the Zach relationship and certain things that you ladies didn't feel like you knew what was happening in that relationship?
Well, I think there were certain people like I
Yeah, I don't remember. too
even
much
like
of
at
that,
the
to be
fire
honest.
pit, I was telling Jen like I'm not for divorce at all.
Yeah.
I think I told her I'm like it does get to a certain point where it's like you do have to have those boundaries, but I'm all for you working through your marriage. I think Demi and
Yeah.
Jesse were like the two
That felt
most
strongly
heated
about everything.
but they were also like divorced too, and I know Jesse was triggered from her past situations. So yeah, I know they were the two that were very heated.
Yeah.
Also
Yeah.
going into season 2.
I feel like most of things were told to us from Jesse and to me during that time. I'm like, I don't really remember any conversations.
Yeah.
that we
I also
had.
think they just didn't know what was going on because I didn't really fully let anyone in.
Well, no one
And
knows what's
so-
really going on in anyone's marriage.
Yes,
So.
and it was a lot of he said, she said, and yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it really, that's this season kind of captures her from what it really is, it's very honest, you know? It just kind of puts the camera on you guys and you guys go, but that can be really painful. And the other thing I keep forgetting is that you guys have kids. You know, and 3 of you are pregnant right now. Yeah. And I'm like, you have this active social life of like dealing with each other and this success. And then on top of it, you have full families. Do your kids know, you know, are they used to cameras now?
I don't really have mine around cameras too much.
None of our kids are really around it much.
Like,
no,
they might be like in the background running around.
I feel like, do your kids show off? My kids show off anytime the cameras come around. They're like right in the cameras trying to do things or do certain things. And I feel like it's hard for us to have a conversation at all with the kids there.
Yeah.
The kids are like jumping in front of the camera or like playing with the mic guy's little thing. And so, but I'm like, yeah, I don't think they really notice it.
No. My daughter thinks she's the star of the show. Every time the cameras come, she's like, okay.
I've got my makeup on. Yeah.
She's 3.
So Taylor Frankie Paul was kind of like, I guess, the one that opened up the door for this show in a lot of ways. And we see her relationship with Dakota. Obviously, it is at the beginning of this just very fractured in so many ways. And you guys haven't seen it, but there's like a dinner with her family where he shows up and then they pray afterwards. And you just see, or from what I felt like watching it, is that this woman is being torn apart. Like she does not know which way is up. And this Dakota thing, even though he seems very regretful of cheating with Jenna, is that her name?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would say regretful.
Well, on camera so far.
Regretful? Is that what was?
Yeah.
But I mean, is Taylor okay? Because you worry about her in these first 3 episodes.
I mean, we all still worry about her.
To this day.
I think she's making progress for sure, but it's definitely a toxic cycle with him, and like we've seen it time and time again. And at the end of the day, the hardest part is sitting back and watching, but at this rate, it's like she has to make her own decisions, and so we kind of just have to support her in any way we can.
And I think she knows, I think it's hard because she knows what she has to do, and she's like, no, I know I see it, but she's also still in it.
The execution is hard, and her healing obviously hasn't been linear, and especially when things keep coming to the surface, and that makes obviously anybody's, your wound can't really heal if it's constantly being touched.
And it's broadcasted to
then everybody
millions.
throws their opinions on top of it of what we see and what we would do in that situation.
Right.
Jen, what advice would you give Taylor, or what advice have you given Taylor in the past?
I haven't really given her any advice because I just support whatever she wants, and if that means that she wants to fight for her relationship or walk away, like I support her in whatever she needs or wants. So that's where I stand with her relationship.
So that's a good friend, right? Yeah. But sometimes...
Well, I think it's because everyone knows the actual back end of it and what happened. And so it's like, for me at least, and I know a lot of people, it's like, you should walk away. And she knows that too. Yeah. So I think it's just more difficult because we see a lot more.
I think Jen's been a little bit more removed from like her situation than we have. And I feel like I've seen it more than anyone with her, but like... excuse me, it's just hard to watch, Yeah. It's hard to see your friend go through this super painful, like, stuff over and over and over again and, like, keep going back. And I get it, because I've been in an abusive relationship in the past, and I get how it is going back, but it's hard to watch. It's almost like you want to make the decision for her and be like, you need to leave. But it's like, she has to want to do it for herself. And so, it's...
And it's hard when there's a kid involved as well. And I mean, and then all your family is wanting you to stay together. There are so many outside influences on this, So we see you enter this second season. And I will say there is an insane episode. I think it's the 3rd episode where the Halloween party happens, which, by the way, a lot of people came dressed as Ben and J-Lo. Jesse's very messy. Yeah. And
Messy Jessie.
She really is. I mean, she's hanging out with Sheena too much. Like, she really knows how to get in there, I feel. But we have this party, and your ex Chase is there.
Yes.
And then we have Dakota and Taylor there, and things just pop off in a way. And then on top of it, we have
Chippendales?
Yeah, we have the Chippendales dancers, which they took that really seriously. They were really
no messing around with Chippendales.
Oh yeah,
I guess.
But we see like you kind of comfort Taylor, which is I mean, it was kind of really nice to see, but was that moment very natural to you? I mean, this is involving your ex who is like talking smack.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. My ex and I have a good co-parent relationship. That does not mean that I'm ever going to justify or back his negative actions. Obviously, if that were the case, I would probably still be with him. I think if he's being disrespectful, I'm going to call him out for being disrespectful. And when I feel like he is being a good co-parent and a good friend, I'm also going to have his back and like praise him for that. I do feel like those things can be mutually exclusive. And, you know, just like any relationship, it's an interesting one to navigate, but I feel like that's kind of where I am with it right now, still to this day. And I think my relationship with Taylor has always been very layered, right? People forget that we have a pretty long-standing relationship prior to the whole swinging drama. And every time we've been around each other, even in the beginning of filming, it has always been fairly seamless. And I think that because we do know each other so well, I don't know, it was just kind of second nature, I guess, in that situation. And even though there are things maybe like Chase said that I agree with, I did not agree with the way that he went about it at all. And I did feel like it was a disrespectful way for him to approach the situation. And so, you know, but at the same time, I also didn't appreciate or agree with the way that Demi handled him briefly touching her on the way out.
There's a scene for the audience, you know, hopefully you've seen this already, but it's a very light touch, if at all, and she goes to her husband and says, Chase put his hands on me, and he already got his shirt off because of the Chippendales.
He was oiled up, he was doing push-ups, he was ready to go.
He was like, you know, and I was like, Chase was like, sorry.
That's exactly it, where I'm like, two things can be true at once. Chase knew that I thought it was disrespectful. I didn't like the way that he was, you know, handling that situation. But also then Demi makes this claim and I'm like, no, that's not how it happened. So in that situation, I'm going to have his back. And so it's, it's a pretty layered relationship with him as well, I guess.
Will we see Chase more throughout the second season?
I'm like,
not the second season.
Not the second season, guy. No. Jen, what is your favorite part of doing this show? Because I know there's, you know, a lot of intense, dramatic moments, but what is like you're most proud of doing the show?
Just showing up and being vulnerable. It is so hard to do that, but I would rather be in the arena, you know, fighting and being real and doing the hard thing than being in the audience and laughing and talking. And what I'm doing is hard, and I want to show the reality of my life because I feel like it can inspire other people and inspires me every single day to show up and be a better version of myself. And I love that aspect. So
yeah, and it'll be good for your kids to see how you know,
I'm just going
to
tell them, like, this is how it was. Like, I went through hell. We went through, me and your father went through a lot of hell.
Yeah.
But, like, hopefully, you know, later on, you know, as people see our relationship evolve, that people can learn from it. And I can be an advocate of, you know, a marriage that is fighting for each other.
Is Zach nervous at all? For you guys said you're not nervous for this being released. Is he nervous when, you know, like the first or the second season gets released?
I think for sure. I mean, especially after season 1, no question. I think it's not easy getting attacked by the world, and he's been attacked for you know, the past couple of months. But, you know, like, I think he's also grateful for it because it forced him to look in the mirror and it forced him to ask himself what his priorities were. And his priority right now is putting our marriage first and supporting me in what I want. And I don't blame him for, you know, having a hard time with the show. But just him coming back to the show and him continually supporting me in something that almost destroyed him says a lot.
Yeah.
And it shows that he is really just trying to support me.
Yeah. What are your favorite moments from the show thus far in terms of like, oh, that was actually really fun? Because there's so much drama.
I have one thing that always comes to mind, but I don't know if it's in there, and it's the car wash. When me and Macy went through a car wash.
Yeah.
It's that simple. It's just the car wash.
Oh, I have
Yeah.
the biggest fear of
It
car
was my
washes, and it played out exactly as it does in my nightmares on camera, and it proves why I don't go into the car
It's
wash.
the villain of the Secret Lives of Mormon
Oh my
Wives,
gosh.
the car
No,
wash.
it was
I
the
hate the
best
car wash.
part.
Really? I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
This is news.
I
to me.
get really-
I don't know why
I
she's
get-
scared of the car wash, but
I think it's because I've crashed, like I've totaled 2 cars,
in the car
and
wash.
so I get really no.
like, no wonder.
I've destroyed 2 Utah car
I'm like
washes.
I've crashed
She, like,
into
puts it
2
in
car
neutral and then-
washes. No, it's because I get really overstimulated. Like I refuse to drive in like rain, wind, snow. I will Uber. Like I won't drive. And so I get really overstimulated. Like if there's music and I'm trying to go through even through a drive-through, I'm like, "Oh my god, it's too loud. Like I can't have too much going on."
I feel that.
And so the car wash is the most overstimulating thing to go through when you have like
Especially
the
when you have
guy
kids
spraying you in the
back.
front with like the thing. They're like
Then you're trying to put it
they're
in
like
neutral and you're like,
and like there's so much going
because we were
on.
both crying, but I was crying because I was laughing so hard, and she was crying because she was
Fear.
like traumatized.
And I went for my daughter. My daughter loves the car wash, but I usually have my husband drive it through. I turn around, she's dead ass asleep in the back. I was like, "You're kidding."
She's not going to
After
pick
I
up her
finally
mom's
made
fear.
it
She's not.
alive in the car
Exposure
wash.
therapy. We love to see it.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
I'd say other than that, I also I've always wanted to go to New Orleans, and we go there on
Yeah.
in season 2. So it's
Oh,
really
amazing!
fun.
Yeah, I saw some of you guys were at the Hulu ABC event, and there are a lot of reality stars and star. I mean, have you met anybody so far that you were kind of in awe of?
1,000%.
Yeah.
Lana, Chloe,
Kardashian.
Khloe Kardashian.
Yeah, so did you get to talk to Chloe and Scott?
Oh yeah, they want to come on.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
come on. They love,
We need
Scott
to get
loves the
Khloe
Mormons.
Kardashian on the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Right?
Can you
I
imagine?
know.
And Scott's
It
like,
would be-
"What's up? It's me, Scott." Yeah.
It was actually Scott that said he loved the Mormon. Well,
They
he said he
asked
just
Mormon
started
She's
watching.
like,
I love the Mormon
They
ones.
asked if he could be on any TV show, any reality TV show, what would it be? And Chloe said that, like,
had
for
been
Scott, it would
watching,
probably
yeah.
be the Mormons.
Yeah, so he said he just started watching.
You did not give your number to Scott Disick, did you?
I should have,
Nope.
actually.
No, you
Just
not.
kidding. No, I've seen too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brenda's like, been there, done that.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that phase is over.
Well, I mean, I was curious of what reality shows or that you were aware of that you were fans of before you did this. I mean, were you watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians and the Kardashians?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of it. I haven't seen the whole thing, but I've seen a lot of it. I actually loved Revenge Body by Khloe Kardashian.
Yeah.
Revenge Body.
Yeah, there was a
Love
whole
that.
show where
I
she would
forgot
get somebody
about
in
It
shape.
was so great.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kardashians, I think, is the only reality.
Yeah.
That
I
I
never
watched.
really watched
Is
reality.
The Bachelor considered reality?
Yeah, yeah.
Then The Bachelor.
Yeah.
The
Bachelor, yeah, that's another
I
one.
feel like I only watched dating reality shows, and then
Yeah.
if Kardashians was on
Yeah,
repeat on
Kardashians.
TV
Yeah.
when
It's
I was
always
a
on
kid, I
repeat.
would watch it on
Yeah.
TV
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
I've seen
Yeah.
a few Love Islands.
Yeah, like the dating reality
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah.
Because they're intriguing. I don't know.
Reality competition series. I'm curious because we're now in the land of Dancing with the Stars, Traders, and I was
Yeah.
curious if any of you ladies would ever like to branch out and potentially do one of
yeah.
the. I mean, you know how to dance, you know how to do all of these things. Would you guys consider that?
100%.
Yeah, I think we'd
I'm
be
like,
open to
not
all of
pregnant,
it.
but
Yeah, not
Yeah.
not pregnant.
It's a special season of Dancing with the Stars where
Oh,
everybody's just
gosh,
pregnant.
everyone's
So-
pregnant.
Honestly,
crazy.
probably not even postpartum. I'd have to wait for a minute. But
Yeah, a hot minute.
I think any other
Knowing
reality
Jen,
show,
she
I
would
think it'd be
postpartum.
fun.
Didn't she run a
we talk about
marathon or
Traders
something?
all the time.
Yes.
It's fun.
That would
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
fun. For
I think
Wait,
they-
you ran a marathon?
Yes.
Postpartum.
3 months postpartum. I don't know.
Yeah,
how.
so I'm like, Jen probably would do it postpartum, but
I think Jen's
wouldn't.
working on a different level than my. it's
No,
like-
truly.
We did.
Us Mormons, we're on a different
Oh
level.
no! Jen
It's
had
the
her
soda.
baby shower, and they were like, "What's her favorite snack?" And they're like, "Celery and carrot." And Macy are like, and then it's like, "What do you do to relax?" And it's like, Jen loves going on a run. And I'm like, "Oh, we're living different
Like, are you
pregnancies
okay?
I like to hide in my bed for 12
Me and
hours.
Macy are like, want to
Show
get
for
chili
3
cheese
hours?
fries in and out and
Yeah,
lay down.
and binging lay down.
DoorDash in a show?
Is there
show.
a mom talk group text thread?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's
And
like
is
12.
There's
Well, that's
several.
what I'm saying. Who's on the text thread? Because there's got to be different variations of the text thread. Do we leave Whitney off of every one of them? What are? Is there a main one? Is there a cool
There is a
one?
There is a main one.
I think we
but the
kinda
main one has been
secret-
changed many times.
Oh yeah,
by now.
it's a Secret Lives 1.0, 1.5, 2.0, 2.5, 3.0. It's
And do we kick people out of that, or do people leave naturally?
Leave usually.
Yeah,
'Cause they're upset.
And usually it's
But-
just
Or we
Whitney.
start a new one, I guess, if there's some issues.
Yeah.
Like if someone tries to like add someone back in the group chat after they left, and we're like, "This, we don't want them in this group chat."
Who got added after they left?
Well, Whitney leaves every group chat she joins, and then somehow someone will add her back in later.
Yeah.
Or if there's like we're texting in a group chat that has like managers, and then someone wants to say something with someone not in there, then they go to another group chat.
Yeah, there's
it's
a lot of
to
group
keep
chats.
up on.
It's a lot, yeah.
Well,
Like
I mean,
50 chats.
Yeah.
Well, that's the confusing thing
can never
about
keep up.
Whitney, or one of the confusing things is that she had blocked all of you guys, I think, at the end of the first season. And then the second season, I really was surprised to see her back, because also, not that she got the villain edit, but a lot of people thought of her as the villain
She
of
did.
The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So I was surprised that she came back. But she's giving birth in the first, she's heavily pregnant and then giving birth. And then I imagine she gets back into the mix of it. But is there a natural friendship with you guys still?
I wouldn't say natural.
Not at all.
We're coworkers. We're coworkers.
Well, that's what Whitney says.
Yeah.
She
Business
says
partners.
That's our new
everyone's
phrase for her is
coworkers.
coworkers, because that's what she sees us as. So.
Yeah, but do you ever ask her, like, why do you, that's kind of hurtful? Like, we're all doing this together?
You'll see a lot of that unfold.
You'll see the
1000%.
dynamic change, and you'll understand what we
Yeah,
mean.
I'm
You'll
like,
see a lot of that
we've
unfold.
actually never asked her that. We should probably ask her.
Like, actually, Michaela's like taking notes.
So, well, I mean, so, I think you are maybe currently filming right now, and then you have to see everybody. Do you guys have all these conversations after filming of this went well, or what did this do? I mean, do you guys share notes?
Certain people.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
I
but
think
they also get
everyone
mad if we talk too much outside
Yeah,
of
but we
filming.
definitely do.
Yeah, you guys, I think every time.
everyone debriefs after. There's always like a debrief of like, okay, now what do you really think now
Yeah.
that their camera's not up?
Or
there's like
almost
things
always
like that.
Yeah.
But then it's like
conversations.
we always have to rehash it with cameras anyways, because then
Yes.
like producers catch wind that we talked about something. They're like, can you actually do that again?
Those are good producers.
Yeah.
Those are good.
Yes.
So, yeah, I was just confused about the Whitney thing, because I'm like, oh, you guys, I want to believe in like team and mom talk and all of this stuff. But if somebody doesn't want to be there, they shouldn't be there,
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
We feel the same way.
All right. Well, see, I'm taking Whitney's spot now. That's great. What was the hardest thing
that.
to get used to filming this season, your first season?
I mean, it's definitely, I'm not by nature the type of person to be like really reactive unless it's something I'm really passionate about. And so sometimes, like, because I already am that way, and then also I think I've come a long way as far as like my people pleasing, but I think that sometimes I'll still fall into that a little bit, and not even as much like people pleasing, but like just speaking up for myself. That's something I'm still trying to find my footing in now, and I'm getting a lot better at it. But I think that there are times looking back filming season 2 where I wish I would have said something about a situation or wish I would have advocated for myself more.
Is there a specific instance you can give us?
Not necessarily. There's honestly a handful, I feel like, throughout. And not necessarily even situations that where I'm like, it's where it's a huge deal. But if it's something that I am feeling a certain way about, like I want to get to a place, and I feel like it's like I said, I'm getting better at it, but I want to get to a place where I can speak about it. It doesn't mean I have to be aggressive about it, but it's something that I am still trying to, adjust to is voicing that and setting those boundaries and being very vocal about my feelings, because I think that's where in the past I've ran into a lot of issues in relationships, is by not being super vocal and advocating for myself outwardly. And so that would be something that in season 2 and even now a little bit I'm really trying to do.
Yeah. I think of you, Macy, as like the reliable narrator. I think I said, like, it's like when you speak, I feel like I can always trust what you're about to say. And like, I feel like you're a warrior. I feel like you are like kind of connected in a spiritual way that I really appreciate what you're going through at all times. And to me, you're like the wild card, because like we don't know
love
you.
that.
Like we're getting to know you, and it'll be really interesting to see what the audience picks up from you.
Yeah.
Because the first 3 episodes, you come off great. It's just that there's so much mystery, I guess, with the Taylor
A lot
of
to
it all.
unpack, yeah.
And we don't know, like, what is the actual scenario, what's the situation, and you kind of point blank say what the situation is. But was there ever more than just a friendship with you and Taylor?
What do you mean?
Just was there ever any kind of
Were you in a relationship?
no, that's what a lot of people like. Was there ever like more romantic leanings than what was talked about.
No. Actually, I wish, because then we could just ride off into the sunset and forget about men.
I love that for you.
Taylor needs this.
Right?
I love that.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I wish I could swing that way.
Yeah.
Literally swing that way. No, I mean, it only ever started as like a purely like physical, like dare to kiss Taylor, you know, drunk girl kiss type of thing. And that's really all it ever was.
Yeah.
I am very unfortunately straight, and so is Taylor. Sadly.
Are you guys able to, you know, when it comes to the men of, you know, the men behind Mom Talk?
Like, no.
Well, I mean, like, are there rules? And, you know, like, you know, don't talk to my husband, go through me, go through, you know, is there kind of a respect there where you will not, like, talk to Dakota firsthand?
I mean,
I don't think you have to set that rule.
I was like, I would not want to talk to him. I don't think you're going to see me ever hitting that man up first. But yeah, no, in general, I don't feel like we have a lot of rules for each other with
to be
that
honest,
kind of
the
stuff.
husbands are more
It's more just-
gossipy now than us.
We're just like respecting everyone.
There's a fly fishing scene with the husbands where I was like, I've seen this on Real Housewives of New Jersey. You get these house husbands together, and it's like a whole other show.
Yeah, they got the controversial ones together.
No, I
That's
think
what
the
they
show.
left
I
us
think
out.
they think the show's about them.
They're making on a spin-off, let's be honest.
Well, that's what I didn't know. I was like, is there going to be a spin-off of like the men of Mom Talk?
They really don't deserve that. I don't think. Let's not
Maybe
boost their egos.
They're trying.
Some of them.
You're like, no way. These men got to stay home with our kids.
Wait, they
Okay?
started
No,
merch?
literally.
They can't be
Merch
filming too.
already.
Wait. The men have merch?
They have
Okay,
merch.
not all of
Jordan
them.
has merch.
I'm like, don't group ours into that one.
Oh my gosh.
My husband can barely be in like a TikTok, like a voiceover TikTok. So
He's like, please no.
I know.
I mean, what's it like to have? I mean, most of you have close to 3 million TikTok followers. That's an insane amount of people. Like, I don't even know if I would ever want that because it's just so unfathomable to even grasp. You know, to wrap your head around that. Even before the show, was that a lot to deal with? Like, or was that just always kind of truly amazing that people gravitated towards you?
I think it was a great precursor before the show. You're real weathered. Yeah, that skin gets nice and
it gives
thick.
you thick skin, and I feel like it gets you more prepared for when you do something bigger because now we're more open to criticism and like we're used to it. So it's really not like a big change. Besides, it's more like of a massive criticism instead of like little things here and there. Like you see a lot more because of like the publicity of
Yeah,
of
I
it
think
all.
as far as like hate goes, it definitely prepares you for that because obviously we get comments all the time. Obviously now it's on like a whole different scale, a larger scale.
Yeah.
But I don't think it prepared us on the sense of like on social media you're sharing what you're allowing. We're on reality TV, it's completely out of your hands. Like you have cameras and you're like, I have no idea how this is going to look and I'm sharing everything.
Yeah.
Which I think is nothing prepares you for that.
But that's why I want to just say thank you because I watched, you know, like I said, I watched so much reality television and Bravo, and you can tell when people are phoning it in or when they're not being real. And the audience really connects with people when you think they're being honest with you. And that's like, there is not what seems like so far a false move in this. Like it shows the ups and the downs.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why you're like, oh, I root for you and I'm rooting for you. And I, like, there's not like even Whitney came off pretty decent in these first couple of episodes.
Yeah, we
Gotta love editing.
I know.
Bless our editing team for her.
Hey, is there going to be a reunion for this season?
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I hope so.
I mean, it would be. I think it would be great. Like I mean, just to find out where we're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people would probably want to
There
know.
would be a lot
wouldn't
to
they?
unpack. I'm
would
like,
be a
I
lot
don't
to
think we
unpack.
even know where we're at.
Well, is everybody in this room good with each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are you just saying that because you're in this room with each other?
maybe.
And you have to
I'm
say,
like,
yes.
I'm like,
yeah, get me out of here.
Taking Jen under the table. Like,
No,
we're all
thank
good.
goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all good.
we're all good.
In your normal lives, though, reality shows kind of encourage you to run towards conversations that you usually, as a person, do not want to have.
Yeah.
Were you always comfortable with putting yourself in the middle of like intense conversations, or is this like the show?
It's still uncomfy.
It still can be hard. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
to be
I
put in
remember
those
having a
situations.
conversation with you after
Yeah.
the happy hour because I felt like I was like apologizing for my delivery on things, but I'm like, I also don't have a past of, like you said, like sticking up for yourself or even like
Yes.
voicing your opinion at all. So I feel like we had a good conversation about that. But again, I think everyone just gets more comfortable being around each other, which is a
Yeah.
good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah, it's like the
Yes.
more comfortable you get, the easier it is. But
Yeah.
it's still hard because you have friendships and like it's tricky to navigate when there's like. I feel like it's happened time after time where you're friends with people, then all of a sudden they have a fallout. Like obviously with like Whitney,
Yeah.
Michaela, and then I'm like in the middle, and then like there's been other you'll see in season 2. I don't want to give everything away. I almost did. That like, there'll be other,
Give it away. Give it away.
Even though the internet already knows half about
Yes,
that.
I
Yeah.
know, but there'll be other stuff happening, and so it's
Yeah.
again, it's like it's hard because like when you're friends with everyone, it's almost like I don't want to have to choose a person, you know. It makes it really tricky.
Yeah, but to
filming
be
a
fair,
show.
Whitney was being a shitty friend to Macy, and that's where it all started. And that's where a lot of my defensiveness came in.
Yeah,
but,
she was. That's true.
Yeah. No. Also, you popped up on Vanderpump Villa along with a couple of the Mom Talk, and that was actually really interesting. And it seemed like Demi got in the middle of this thing with Marciano from Vanderpump Villa. I know Jesse was there as well. What was that experience of? Because you seemed really excited to be around Lisa Vanderpump.
Oh, absolutely.
But I mean, how did that situation go down in your opinion?
Well, let's just say it didn't show any of what actually happened. But you'll just have to wait and see.
But what do you mean wait and see? Like it's already Vanderpump. I mean, does this pop up
You'll
on
see.
Secret Lives of Mormon Wives?
Yes.
There's a
There's a lot of
big
unfolding.
crossover.
Yeah, quite.
I was like, I don't remember it happening
No,
like
same.
that, but
There's a big cross. That's very exciting. See, I've only seen the first. I sent an email before this where I was like, "Give me the rest of the episodes now," because I just burned through them. So we have a
That's
cross.
how I felt watching the villa too. I was like, that's not what we
I was like,
experienced.
I was like, wait a second.
Where's the rest of the episodes?
No, literally.
So there was more drama than what we actually saw on the show, and there was already a little drama, and they just didn't put it in there.
A lot happened behind closed doors. A lot happened during the show, during filming, and after. So, which is gonna
And you'll see a lot of that on obviously our show too.
Yes.
So that'll play out for
Wow.
everyone to watch too.
What would you like the audience to, and audiences that maybe haven't even seen the first season, and they're like, you know what, I love this girl's energy, I want to check it out. What are you the most proud of, or why do you think people should be watching this show?
Because it's relatable. I feel like there's going to be at least someone out of like the 8 to 9 of us that you can relate to on some sort of way, and I think that everyone has different stories that they tell, and I think people can just feel like they're not alone maybe, or maybe they feel more seen or more heard, and I think that's what we want people to take away. At least for me, I want them to feel like they can relate and not only be entertained, because like obviously that's what we're here for, but also be like our stories are a lot deeper than just entertainment and drama. It's like we have a lot of trauma and we have co-parenting, like there's so much going on in our lives, and I think there's like anyone can relate to us watching it.
I think I heard someone in press was saying how interesting it was, like what they found most interesting about us is that we could be like at each other's throat 1 second and then we're all like busting up laughing and then we're crying 2 seconds later. So it's like there's
That's the sign of a reality star. Like good reality stars can do
well,
that.
they're like, it's so entertaining that you guys are able to like obviously fight. But
also
you're
the
fighting and doing this,
reality-
but you're
yeah.
also can come together and like comfort each other at the same time.
But also the reality of like real friendships, because I feel like most reality TV shows just like put people together that don't actually have real friendships. But with us, like we were all friends prior to the show, so I feel like it's that more real and authentic.
And I think Mom Talk also started out being very perceived as very vain. When me and Taylor and our other friend were first making videos together, a lot of the comments were very like real moms don't look like this. Like, how do they get ready every day? Which like we only like filmed on the days we actually got ready. We didn't even
But
get
also,
ready every
like,
day.
what is a real
What is a real mom? Right. So like lots of
hello?
comments like that,
Yeah.
right? Where or like people would be like, "There's no way you're Mormon. You guys aren't wearing garments." Just like things like that. And obviously, this is a way deeper look into our lives that is not just what you see on the outside of us, just like wearing matching stuff and doing a dancing video.
No, that's why I think it blows me away, because that wouldn't be my thing. You know, like I wasn't on Mom Talk, you know, but I will say I am fascinated with this. In the second
us
season,
into matching
Well,
everything.
you're not our target demographic. I don't
and if I was, you know, it'd be really scary for everybody involved. No, but what I do, like, I love people that are being honest, and I love, like, you know, I keep having to remind myself just how young all of you ladies are, and you've already lived so many different lives, and you're still out there, you know, not struggling per se, but really trying to but really trying to figure it out. And I think everybody wants to see things like that. You know?
Yeah, and I think one other thing I was just thinking of is that we were just at McDonald's getting a drink, and we met this guy. He was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm excited for season 2," and he like worked at BYU at one point with like the dance team or choreographing and stuff. And he was like, "Please keep doing what you're doing because I feel like it's changing the culture of the church in a great way to where people feel like." They're not judged, and I will say that because the culture can have a judgmental aspect to it. And he was like, back when I was at BYU, like these women who like dance all the time, like wouldn't even come out in their sports bras and their like leggings because like they're like, oh, it's too like inappropriate. Like they don't want to be judged and things like that. And so he's like, keep doing what you're doing to making other people feel comfortable.
He was like, he was telling the girls to go watch our show.
Yeah, and like he's telling them to watch the shows, so they can feel more like not judged and like more seen and more heard. And so I feel like hearing that makes me feel so good inside because you do get people who are like, you are not a representation of the church. It's like no, because it's not one size fits all. There's different people all over the spectrum of being Mormon. It's not like this is Mormon. It's like there's so many different ways you like can be part of the church.
And that's how it was like when you said back when Mom Talk started, it was this is not what real moms look like. Yeah. And then this is not what real Mormons look like. Yeah. And then when the show came out, this is not what Mormon moms look like. And I'm like, well, what is a Mormon or a Mormon wife?
Breaking
what does a real Mormon
stereotypes
wife look like?
is our favorite thing.
Well, that's why I hope in future seasons that we will see somebody from the Mormon church or a representative actually have a frank conversation with you because I think this is so important if, they want the church to exist and flourish for generations to come. Yeah. They have to accept, where the church is headed or the people in the church.
And I will say, my mom called me actually a couple days ago saying, by the way, I have to tell you this story. So this like lady basically was like, are you guys the church that has like the Mormon wives? Basically it came to one of the churches.
The Mormon wives.
And long story short, she is now a member because she loved watching this show and seeing how like you can be Mormon and not just like be this perfect cookie cutter person. So I'm like, if anything, I feel like we're doing the Lord's work right now. We're doing missionary work, not the missionary work. So I'm like, what are you guys talking about with bad influence?
That's going to help in heaven. Finally, then, since the three of you are pregnant, would you be open to showing your birth on camera? We've had other Kardashians did this with Courtney. Would you be willing?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, at this point, I've already showed everything. So.
I do C-sections. Right? I don't really have to show any of those.
No, I didn't mean let's get a close up. Would you be willing to have camera crews at your delivery?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Only if I was. So this one I'm doing naturally, and so my other ones I did epidurals, which it would be so easy to lay down and be like, yeah, go ahead, set them up, get your shot. But I feel like with natural birth, I feel like it's
you don't know how it's gonna go.
Oh no, I don't want to see that.
It's like you at a car wash.
I want to see that.
Literally.
Yeah.
I would love to watch
you record it anyways and send it to me. Just kidding.
Well, guys, season 3, you are going to see a natural birth, hopefully, on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Ladies, thank you for spending so much time with us today. I can't tell you, I'm so, it's weird. I'm proud of you guys. I think you handled yourself with class. I think this season is killing it. I can't wait to see the rest. And I want the best for all of you. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Appreciate it
so much.